Good Friday morning, West Michigan. Thanks so much for joining us here on the 13 on Your Side app. I'm Emily Scarlett here with Chief Meteorologist Samantha Jack. Sam, what an exciting day.
Yeah, such an exciting day. We are live on the rooftop of Founders this morning out ahead of the opening of the Acrisure Amphitheater. Lionel Richie opening the show for us tonight, which is pretty cool. And the forecast, we really couldn't have asked for a better outlook, especially I keep thinking back to Wednesday. Like that was not a good day. And today we're talking sunny and 70 degrees.
Yeah, we've had cold starts all week long. Still cold this morning, but we do have some really nice improvements on the way. We've got team coverage for you this morning. We've got Tanner and Aaron not far from us, very close to the brand new Acrisure Amphitheater. We'll be checking in with them shortly. We've also got our Deja Barrett and meteorologist Colton Woods and Dave Cackley holding things down for us in the studio. But Sam, everyone's wanting to know, how are things going to be outside for tonight's first concert?
You know what? If everybody likes sunny and 70 degrees, I think we managed to make West Michigan happy. But this morning, I do want you to know you need a jacket when you walk out the door. We're sitting at 43 degrees still here in Grand Rapids right now, 49 in Muskegon, and 45 for those of you joining us this morning from Holland. I want you to look at radar here, and shortly I'm going to post a picture on my Facebook page, so make sure you go check it out, because what's happening right now is the rain is actually evaporating before making it to the surface, and we got an epic photo of it happening during sunrise. Really, really cool stuff. But there is one cell right now headed towards Muskegon County as well as Oceana County that will likely make it to the surface. So get ready for a sprinkle there, and that will likely make it to the greater Grand Rapids area between 8:30 to 9 o'clock this morning. As for our temperature trends, we're going to continue to build into the upper 60s this afternoon. By the time we reach 3 p.m., by 6 o'clock, we're talking low 70s. The reason that we're going to pop into the 70s so late in the day is because that's when our sun is expected to come out in full force between that 6 to 7 o'clock hour, with temperatures falling off into the mid 60s as we reach around 10 o'clock tonight. Dave?
Thank you, Sam. It's been a fairly quiet Friday morning commute across most of West Michigan, at least on the expressways. Crews still on the scene of an earlier crash with injuries in Kent County. Pettis Avenue at Cannonsburg, still unknown on the severity, but again, emergency crews remain on the scene there. Look out for bridge rehabilitation and replacement. Cleveland Street, 112th Avenue in Crockery Township. That's going to continue through early to mid-October. Also 96 at 31, bridge work in Muskegon. And you got lane closures northbound 31 at Sternberg Road. You got construction ongoing at Apple Avenue and 31 as well. Speed still well over 70 along 96, slowing down a bit 31 Grand Haven to the south. As we take a look now at I-96 east of Alpine Avenue, eastbound a little lighter than normal right now. You can follow me on the X for the latest updates at Dave 13 Traffic.
All right, thank you, Dave. Hey, back out here, downtown GR, outside of the Acrisure Amphitheater. It's brand new, by the way, if you couldn't tell. And we are so excited because this is day one of the Acrisure Amphitheater. And what better way to celebrate it and kick it off with Mayor David LeGrand. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your time this morning.
Hey, it's an exciting day.
Yeah, it is. Let's first talk about what this means for Grand Rapids. This is our now next biggest venue, right? I mean, we've got Van Andel downtown. Everyone knows that. Yep. We've got DeVos and now Acrisure. Talk about it. What does it mean?
Well, you know, one of the things that's fun about it is, as much as we love our old concert venue, this one's sort of open, right? So if you go in there, and folks, when they come and see it, they're going to realize, like, across the hill is the river, and you can walk right down to the river there. It's in context in a way that a closed space isn't. Now, it means it's seasonal, and thank God we're going to have great weather this weekend for our opening act, and I'm sure for a lot of our other concerts in the future. But it's really exciting that it's, you know, part of the hustle and bustle of the city, and it expands options for people. Yeah. It's really exciting.
What does this mean for the future of Grand Rapids when we're talking about bringing people here? I mean, that's got to create a lot of opportunity for people to see our city, want to move here, yep. And increase business. Talk about that aspect too.
Yeah, well, you know, businesses need customers, and the best customers are people who live close to the things they're patronizing. So I think that we know that this is going to stimulate more housing in town. It's going to create a sort of a new neighborhood around it, and that's all going to feed into the energy in the city. We just heard this week that Grand Rapids Rapids is ranked again on top of a list of one of the greatest places to start a career in the country. And our workforce is actually getting younger in Grand Rapids, which is great. So this just feeds into, it's symbolic of, but additional additive to all of the great things that are happening, all the energy that make Grand Rapids fun right now.
Yeah, you know, when we look to the future, we've got another project on the horizon, the soccer stadium, which is under construction right now. When you think about that and all of the momentum behind it, what do you hope for in the future when we have all of these new venues, potentially hundreds of thousands of new people coming into the city just to be here and visit?
Well, I hope that all the visitors are going to realize that if they lived here, they'd be home now. I think every visitor we have is a potential new resident. And it's a great town. It's a great community. I love this place. My family loves this place. You love living here. So I think it's a great way for us it's an ambassador for us. It's a stationary ambassador, but I hope more people move to Grand Rapids.
Yeah. When you're pitching this city now, when we have all of these venues in town, when you're going out and pitching this to maybe investors or other businesses that are looking to come here, how does this put you guys on a different playing field in terms of other cities?
You know, people want things to do. They want quality of life, and all businesses know that part of their challenge is to get employees and to get talent. Well, talented people are interesting people, and interesting people want to do things like go to a Lionel Richie concert. So it's an amenity, it's a draw for the whole region, and employers are going to know that.
Yeah. All right, Mayor David LeGrand, we always appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us live this morning. And of course, we're looking forward to the new Acrisure Amphitheater opening. This is just the beginning of our coverage this morning. So Emily, I'll send it back to you on the rooftop.
All right, great stuff. Thank you, Tanner. Now, of course, whether you're actually coming out here to the amphitheater or not, you can expect issues with traffic. There's going to be a lot more cars out in this area, and that will likely mean some delays for your evening commute. Take a look at your screen. We're going to show you some of these areas that might be some problem areas for you. Market Avenue will be closed from Cherry Street to Bartlett Street. The exit ramp from US 131 to Market will also be closed, and there will be a small closure on Finney Avenue near the amphitheater and on Williams Avenue, which is what you can see right behind us here at Founders Brewing. Now, if you're using rideshare to get around to the amphitheater, more closures that you'll want to watch out for. Uber and Lyft drivers will actually be blocked by a geofence, and that will prevent them from getting too close to the amphitheater. We've got our Aaron Sullivan live this morning with details on how all that will work, because of course, Aaron, I'm sure many people will be relying on rideshare for these events.
Emily, good morning. And by people, you mean me, because I am not dealing with parking. I don't like walking too much. An Uber and a Lyft is the recipe for success for me for a good night out. But if you're expecting to be dropped off in front of the amphitheater by your driver, I'm sorry to break the news to you, but that's not going to happen. So take a look at your screen right now. We have a map of the latest geofence from Mobile GR. This is around the amphitheater for those ride shares. So instead of dropping you off on Fulton Street Bridge like their original plan had once told drivers, Mobile GR says that now pickup and drop off will be only allowed on Cesar Chavez under US 131 between Oaks and Cherry. So they say this also shrinks the geofence around the amphitheater, reopening access to most late night businesses in the area. Officials at Mobile GR say they made the change after hearing about community feedback, and the city says the changes are already live in Lyft, but Uber still has to confirm all of this. So just a heads up, if you're doing Lyft or Uber, make sure you're checking with your rideshare to verify all of the information you need to know before your night begins.
We want to hear from community and find ways that we can make sure that they're also finding convenient and they're enjoying their time downtown. We do not want transportation to be a barrier to any of the folks who are coming and visiting or who live in or work in our downtown core or our city in general.
So the geofence will go into effect 2 hours before showtime and an hour afterwards. Now, Mobile GR says as this summer does continue, plans could change. So they say feedback is so important right now. So definitely don't be shy with letting them know what's working, what you're seeing in terms of congestion and traffic. All the feedback will help their future plans. For now, live in Grand Rapids, I'm Erin Sullivan, 13 on your side.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much. Of course, let's now chat a little bit about more in depth of what Aaron was just talking about. I've got Max Gillis here with Mobile GR joining me this morning. Max, I want to start off right where Aaron left off there. A lot of the feedback you guys have been receiving, how helpful has that been to you guys in trying to get this plan all together? I know you guys have made some adjustments over the last couple of days. How has that been going as you're making those quick adjustments just days before?
Yeah, great question. So whenever you do planning efforts, there's so much you can learn from other communities and your own community in preparation. But one thing we've been really intentional about is saying we're not going to know everything from the beginning, so we're going to learn throughout. And the best way to do that is hear from community, hear from their experiences. So whether it's in this week leading up or tomorrow or today, of course, or going forward, we're just going to learn as much as we can. So hearing from community on how things are working, what's not working is really important for us.
Yeah, let's do some important reminders because we have been talking about it all week. I'm sure you've heard all of this millions of times. We're going to sound like a broken record, but I think it's important for the reminders. So again, we just talked about the rideshare drop-off right under the 131 bridge on Cesar E. Chavez, but also the Fulton Street Bridge too. We're talking about the ADA lot, which is now accessible for people who might have a disability. Talk about that and what people need to know.
Yeah, so right behind me here we have our Cherry Market lot. That is exclusively for folks who have disability placards and are able to, or accessibility placards and are able to park there with that. We also have a pickup and drop-off function there for anyone who requires accessibility needs and needs to drop off a party member and then go park somewhere else. So this was really important to us. We, of course, are asking a number of folks to walk 4 to 10 minutes or so from a lot of our parking facilities. So we wanted to make sure we were overly prepared for the amount perspective for all of the ADA spaces. So we also have about 30 to 40 spaces at the amphitheater ramp. However, the market chair lot behind me is the ones that's closest to the front door. So that's the shortest distance from parking lot to the front door that we have here at the city. Okay, speaking of parking, there are all sorts of parking ramps, as you mentioned, all across the city. What do people need to know about that? I know we can book ahead if we have planned ahead, but also, you know, we need to be able to park. So what should we know about parking? Yeah, so I think the best way to engage with the system if you do have any concerns is to book ahead and then reserve your spot. Then you know exactly where you're going and you can plan your trip ahead of time. Maybe find a restaurant or a bar or something on the way that you can go and visit before the show or after the show to explore our great city. But even if you're coming down night of, we are saving spaces for plenty of folks who if you don't book ahead, there'll still be a spot for you. That does include sometimes a walk, either 4 to 15 minutes or so is about the average. But all of our parking facilities are also attached to the Dash shuttle service. It's a free-to-ride service that'll take you to the front door of the amphitheater or any other event venue downtown. So whether it be 20 Monroe Live, Intersection, the arena. So it's a great way if you aren't interested in the walk and you just want to go on your phone or talk with your friends, you can hop on the Dash bus and get to any of those event arenas. All right. I would assume as people figure out that Dash bus, it'll probably be very popular. But of course, again, that feedback helps you guys in planning for the next concerts after the fact. So we really appreciate it, Max. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Of course, my pleasure.
All right, let's send it back to you, Emily and Sam on the rooftop. Good morning again.
Thank you, Tanner. This brand new venue is especially exciting for local businesses. The city has expanded its social district to include the area near the amphitheater. That means you can go buy a drink at a local restaurant and then take it all the way to the gates of the amphitheater. But you'll need to finish it before you get to those gates because you cannot take anything inside. No outside food or drinks, that is. Local businesses like Founders Brewing are expecting to see a huge surge in customers. They tell us they're also hiring new staff here. And when we spoke with another group, upping staffing and menu offerings are also preparations for them.
As we bring people on, generally we find a home long term. We don't really see ourselves as a seasonal restaurant anymore. I think that's a big thing that's changed for us in the last 5 years is prior to the pandemic, summer was a slow season for us. People went to the lakeshore, and as the cities continue to grow, we're busy year round.
And if you have dinner plans in Grand Rapids this summer, you'll probably want to make a reservation ahead of time. With the amphitheater Van Andel Arena and DeVos Performance Hall, there will be hundreds of thousands of people in the downtown area. Now, we'll be live here from the rooftop at Founders all morning long for you. Be sure you tell everyone to download the 13 on Your Side app to watch for free. We've got an interview with the chef behind the menu at Acrisure, and we're already talking with the Grand Rapids mayor a couple of times this morning. So he woke up early with us. We've got other key community leaders involved in this huge move for downtown Grand Rapids. Stay with us. We're live until 9 a.m.
Yeah, and hey, here's the thing. Even if you're not headed to the amphitheater tonight, I know there's so much activities going on across West Michigan, and we do have some storms in the forecast, even a small chance for severe weather leading into next week. More information on that extended outlook and when we'll be in the mid-80s coming up.